What up, it's Marcus with Dynasty Dads. I have a bachelor party this weekend. Let me know what your favorite beer drinking game is. We're going to do some beer Olympics at the bachelor party, and we're going to be doing some golfing. We are all horrible golfers, so wish us luck at that. So we are going to be doing some Dynasty trades. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them here. We're going to be talking through some of the thought process when we go through some of these trades. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. I see all these crazy lopsided trades. I don't know if there's just a part of the community that is very educated and some of the part of the community that just doesn't understand trading. We have seen this in some of my leagues, some of the leagues that I have had questions with, just a lot of people that again, just don't understand either draft pick value, veteran value, a lot of these things. And I think watching videos is one of the most important things you do, because not only do I, of course, produce videos, but I watch other content. I want to make sure that I am staying what we call water. We want to stay with the flow. We want to make sure that we are not overvaluing or undervaluing certain players. Sometimes you get different opinions on certain things. And sometimes you're stuck in concrete where, like last year where I was like, Cam Akers, I hate you. I don't think you're going to do well. And then he didn't really do well until the last little peak. So sometimes you just affirm your, you get stronger in your opinions. Whatever, it is what it is. So we're going to start with the first trade. 90 seconds in, we still haven't even talked about a trade yet. Jonathan Taylor, Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet now hurt. The whole Seattle backfield now hurt, which will give a reminder that the backfields they can all of a sudden evaporate. You can have a great backfield like Miami or like Seattle, and all of a sudden it can just evaporate. Or like Philadelphia with Swift and Penny. Like these, that's why it's so important to have depth in Dynasty, where they are going to offer a trade of 2 2024 first and a 2024 second. Zach Charbonnet and a 2024 second are relatively the same. And this was a super flex league, and I'm going to take the trade. I'm going to take the trade for picks. Jonathan Taylor concerns me. I don't know if this is the perfect time to trade him. I mean, last year would have been the perfect time to trade him because he was basically the number one running back in all of Dynasty. Breece Hall was peaking there, and now you have basically Jonathan Taylor, number 3, number 4 at the highest level at this point, and so he's already lost some value. But I'm going to say that I'm going to take the 2 first and the 1 second. Just because honestly, Jonathan Taylor, he's already now in the middle part. You're already past that middle part of his rookie contract here. So I'm just going to take the picks. You can get some different positions here. Again, running backs, I think you can fill in. I mean, you're not going to fill in Jonathan Taylor's production-wise, but if you can try to find yourself an Alexander Mattison, a Tony Pollard last year, like to fill into some of these spots, I think that is what you can do in Dynasty very well. So I'm gonna take the pick side here. We're gonna do Bryce Young and Bijan Robinson for Kirk Cousins and Derrick Henry. Now Bryce Young, I have a few spots ahead of Kirk Cousins. We don't know Kirk Cousins' future. Brian Robinson versus Derrick Henry. You want Derrick Henry easily over Brian Robinson, but is it enough to get you Bryce Young? And I am going to take the Bryce Young side because I feel more confident in Bryce Young, that he has that potential top 8 type of quarterback season, especially in Superflex. This is Superflex. And so Kirk Cousins, he's into that realm where you're looking at bottom end. You're looking at 9 to 14. That's kind of his range. And so, yeah, Bryce Young could end up falling into that category, or he could end up being a Tua Tagovailoa or something along those lines, and even that would be a better quarterback fantasy-wise than Kirk Cousins. We have Marquise Brown traded for Alexander Mattison, and I like Marquise Brown. I think he's actually, he went from too overvalued to way undervalued to too overvalued to now undervalued again. It just is like this roller coaster of Marquise Brown, and I think he's at the undervalued side. But even saying that, I think Alexander Mattison is the pick to go here. I think he's going to disappoint people. I think you're going to have a more Dwayne McBride than you want. I think you're going to have more Ty Chandler, somebody else even potentially on the roster that we haven't even seen yet. You're going to have a little bit of, I think you're going to have Alexander Mattison take 50%, 60% of the snaps, but on the Minnesota roster, and you're going to have some passing down work. I think that's going to be very valuable. So I'm going to take Alexander Mattison here just because he could do this for the next 2-3 years. And if you have that is so important and valuable for fantasy football. The next one, DK Metcalf for DJ Moore in 24 seconds. 2 next year seconds. And DJ Moore for DK Metcalf. Now, DK Metcalf is going to have a problem with JSN on the opposite side of him. But DK Metcalf has the ability to be a wide receiver 1. I don't think DJ Moore does. And even if you have that plus 24 seconds, it's not enough for me to say, yeah, I'm going to make that trade. I'm going to keep DK here. I think DK has, again, the ability and talent with Geno and now JSN, even with Tyler Lockett. I think you could have DK. He's had periods and stretches where he's been a top 5 wide receiver. He could be that again. I mean, I don't think that is going to happen, but I still think that DK Metcalf, you look at the end of 2023 and he's wide receiver 9, that's not going to surprise me one bit. Now, if DJ Moore is in the top 15, that would probably surprise me maybe more than most people, I guess. So I'm going to go DK here. All right, we're going to do a super flex. We have Joe Burrow we're giving away. Are we going to give him away? We have Dak Prescott, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore, 2024 second and a 2025 second. I love Dak Prescott, and I think that there are times where you look at him and maybe it's just boredom of watching him constantly be a very good fantasy quarterback, even though he had a down year last year. They ran the ball a lot with Zeke. Pollard had a really good season as well. They do have Brandon Cooks now coming in. Maybe Michael Gallup will be healthy, maybe not. Really struggled with having some secondary options in the basically the passing / receiving game. Dalton Schultz seemed to be a little bit of a savior there, but now he's gone. I'm gonna keep Joe Burrow though. Joe Burrow he's Joey Cool. It doesn't matter if they got just hurt. He is a top 5 fantasy dynasty quarterback, and so Dak plus Addison, who I like, but still a wild card. You're still looking at middle to the end of the first type of round pick. Sky Moore, again, an extreme wild card. Honestly, it could be Justin Ross. It might not even be Sky Moore. And then a couple seconds that just don't give me enough. If I'm giving away Joe Burrow, I want Dak plus a really concrete wide receiver. I want Dak and Devonta Smith. I want something along those lines that is going to get that there. And that may not even get there. I love Devonta Smith, but it's going to need to be something of concrete value, not a bunch of these dimes and Addison, who's a quarter or something along those lines. And speaking of Devonta Smith plus Tony Pollard for Jamar Chase. I was the number 1 fan of Devonta Smith. I think it's one of my most viewed videos pre-last year of how I thought Devonta Smith was the most underrated wide receiver. It's probably one of my best calls I've had so far. Devonta Smith was one of my most. I thought he was super underrated. And you get Tony Pollard for Jamar Chase. You're giving up Jamar Chase. That is such a hard and difficult thing because Jamar Chase is the number 2 wide receiver in all of Dynasty. Yes, JJ's number 1. Skull. So JJ's number 1. Jamar Chase is number 2. Devonta Smith, he's in that top 10 range. He's in the second tier. So you're looking at that second tier with CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Waddle, Garrett Wilson. Tony Pollard, does he get enough there? And just thinking it in my head, I think it's close. How desperate do I need a running back, honestly? Does that running back fill that spot? Because if I don't need a running back, then there's no point in making this trade, of course. But if I need a running back, and this is a win-now team, because Devonta Smith, this is such a tough decision. This is where if I have Chase, I'm probably staring this down, and I'm probably just going to say no and just be like, hey, we're really close. You need to add something besides Pollard. Devontae plus Pollard plus something else. Because really, you're taking the number 2 wide receiver, a wide receiver I feel very, very confident over the next 10 years with Joe Burrow. Giving me a little bit more risk with Devonta Smith. And Pollard is great, but again, long-term wise, we're going to look at this trade in 2-3 years, and Pollard's going to be out of the fantasy realm. And now we're looking at Chase and Devonta Smith, and how close are they going to be? If they're still wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 10 or wide receiver 8, it's not the end of the world. Again, it's close, but if you want my star, you gotta bring the money. And so I'm probably saying no. But it's not, I'm willing to negotiate. I'd be like, I'm saying no, but I'm willing to negotiate. All right? So this is Marcus Dynasty Dads. Peace out. Take care. We will see you a time or two before I'm heading off to the bachelor party. Peace out. Take care.